Don LaFountain, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Al. Glad to be.
As you can see, I just unpacked a large Hancock-Style beaver trap, and I've got the printed directions here, but if you could, I'd really appreciate it if you'd walk me through how to set this type of trap.
Sure thing, Al. The directions can be a little bit vague. It's nicer to see it actually done. What we got is, as Alan said, is a Hancock-Style trap. This trap's been around for over 60 years. It was designed for capture and release of scientific use of aquatic animals. Primarily in this area it's beaver. And I'm going to walk you through a little bit of the different parts of it. There's show you what it is, show you how to set it. And what we have right here where we're starting off, this is actually, as this trap is folded up, this is the way you'll get it. And when it's closed up and you want to let the animal out, this is actually the release hole. This is the frame. This is the hinged frame, which is going to come up and around and actually hold the operating jaw of the trap, the chain link section. Later on, we'll show you that. But the first thing we have to do is put it together. And what you'll notice is there's a couple of toggles on here, one on either end, and these rings. And to put this trap together, set it up, is just to bring this over so that it locks in place. And what you want to do is just run your ring over the toggle. And the toggles can be a little bit tight because it is new, but they'll loosen up in use. And another thing that I'm sure you'll notice right now is this thing is really nice and shiny. Don't let that bother you because the beavers that you're after are used to things that are man-made, and this is not going to have any detriment to this trap whatsoever. But you run your toggle over, your ring over the toggle, and it takes a little manipulating once in a while. Just spin the toggle around until it holds the ring in place. That puts the active jaw, the frame part, which is going to hold the active jaw. If you notice this rod right here, this rod is an extension of the whole pan area and dog area, which fires the thing off. Let me turn this around now. And this rod comes up from that area, and this is another dog, and this fits right inside this notch right here. When this jaw, the active jaw, is brought down, fits into an area here, this is run up through the chain link as that's done. It's put inside the notch. This piece is brought back over, and then it's set down this end in the chain, down in here. And we'll show you that in a second. But once it's in that position, you can see it's rigid, and this is the frame. It's all set to go. Okay, well, this is the position you're going to want your trap in as you go to set it. Laying down, you notice that the frame portion of it is slightly elevated. What we're going to want to do is bring this down simply by stepping on both sides of the frame. At this point, we're going to reach down. We're actually going to grab the chain link. And when we pull up on it, we got to release the lock, free up the frame. Get a good grip on both sides of the frame. Pull it back towards you. Now, at this time, while you're doing this, make sure that those toggles and those rings are still in their set position. Pull this down. Get it. You notice I put one knee on top. At this point right here, I want to pull back all the slack in the chain link, get that pan down. Right here, we're going to take and bring this dog up through the chain link, like we showed you earlier. Comes up through, sets down into this notch. Now, I really want to make sure it seats in this notch. Another thing to remember, if you got this out in the woods, this notch sometimes fills up with dirt, so you want to check it prior to bringing it into this position. So get it set in there, set it in the notch, and grab the extension bar and bring it over. You can see where when this comes over, it actually hooks over the top, holding this bar down. Now you're going to reach up here, going to push down on the bar, and at the same time, I'm going to move my other knee right onto this frame to hold it down. And right here, I can push down on the bar and take this ring. And this is the actual safety of this trap. Take this ring, bring it over on the bar, and at that point, you can see it's holding it all in place, holding this down, but I'm also securing it with my knees. At this point, in the directions, the written directions, they talk about using a 42-inch 2x4 as a backup safety. this is where you would put that in. It sits here. It sits in the frame here, goes up, attaches on the top, making this diagonal area, keeping the trap from slamming shut. I would recommend using that the first couple of times you set this trap, just to be on the safe side until you're actually comfortable with it. At this point, my body weight's holding the active jaw down with the chain link. Now I'm going to reach up here. Here's the dog. Comes over the top of the extension bar. And here's the pan. The notch in the pan is right on the top. We're going to push down on the dog, lift up on the pan. This is now in the set position. Dog comes across, down into the notch. Our safety ring is still in position, and I'm still on the trap. If we have our 2x4, that'll be in there. What happens when this is set, and how this works, the beaver swims in from this direction. Our bait is set up in the back, which we'll show you, explain that in a few minutes. But that's set up. We have 4 to 5 inches, 3 to 4 inches of water, maybe 5, depending on what you're doing, but no more than that, over the top of the pan. 3 inches, 4 inches keeps ducks, and if they happen to be swimming by, also keeps your muskrats that are coming by from firing this off. The beaver comes in, presses down on the pan, releasing the dog, and that's just how that goes off. Show you one more time here. Remember, safety ring on all the time. Until this is in the water and set and you're ready to walk away, this safety ring stays in position. Push down on the pan, releases the dog, which will release this bar, releases this dog, the active jaw comes up. 70-pound beavers have come into this. I've had them in here. They come in, it flips them over, it disorients them. This jaw comes up, hooks on the top, and you're in position of having your beaver caught. He's alive, he's sitting in there. One other little point about this, again, it's a capture device to hold them live. The 4 inches of water, beavers have a tendency to overheat, even in cold weather. He also needs to be able to groom himself. He can get down in the water if it's warm out, cool himself off, climb up out of the water and groom himself in colder weather, and they'll actually be in pretty good shape when you get to them. Well, right now we've turned the trap around so that I can show you where you're going to be in your next position on this. We've already done the setting, we've got it down. Now you've got to bait it, and you're going to have to anchor this trap, and you're going to work from this end of the trap at this point. Your 2x4 is in place, your safety's on. A couple things you're going to be going: anchoring, baiting, and other ways of securing this trap. They're all covered in the full-length production of this video. But right now we're just saying at this point, 10 to 11-inch sticks for bait. They're going to be placed on the back of the trap, no higher than this upper bar. You would wire them on the back with a light gauge wire, and you're probably going to want to attach one on either side of, say, your typical beaver trapping wire, nothing lighter than 14 gauge. Even there, I would double that up. And that's what you're going to use to anchor this to, whether it's a tree or some horizontal log. And if you can't, you need something, use a fence post or a stake, trap stake. But that's it. You've wired in your bait. Now you've got to get ready to put this in the water. And I want to show you how to carry this trap, because this is the position it's going to be in while you carry it. First thing you want to do is never place your fingers inside the jaws. You're going to take the trap,